Hey everybody, JT's Reborn here, and I just got done watching Insidious Chapter 2. Now, it's been a few years since I actually, sat down and watched this movie, but I must say, it's a solid sequel. It's not as good as the first movie. I don't think the scares are quite as good. There's a few decent ones, um, and I don't think the suspense is there quite as much. But there are some things that I do like about it. For one thing, the advancement of the further, like the development of that world, and how time is kind of doesn't really play a factor. I like how this movie goes kind of Back to the Future too, where they actually go back to the first movie. Like for instance, when Josh, Patrick Wilson is in the first movie, he hears a knock at the door and the door opens. Turns out it was him in the further world. So I liked how that kind of tied in, and I like how this concludes the Lambert storyline. The family. I mean, there's, at least up to this point, they don't make any more appearances. I haven't seen the fourth movie yet, so I don't know. Maybe they do, but I like how it wraps up their storyline, and it's a satisfying, happy ending for the family because they've gone through some shit in the last two movies. I think after two of them, I think they're pretty good. But anyways, in this one, the plot is, if you remember at the end of the first movie, Josh, aka Patrick Wilson. I'm just gonna call him Patrick Wilson because that's who he is. Basically, that evil witch, old lady looking thing who we find out is actually a man named Parker Crane who dresses like an old woman because his creepy, over the top, hammy mother who every time she's in the movie, I immediately start laughing because she's so over the top, screaming and yelling, "Ah, naughty girls!" Whack. But yeah, Parker possesses, him, and the hauntings start up again. The scares aren't quite as good as the first movie, but there's still some good stuff here. The kids, Dalton isn't like he was in the first movie. He's kind of pushed to the side a bit, I want to say, but he does go back into the further and help his father out. The first half of this movie, yeah, like I said, it's not like I said, the first half of the original Insidious is like a big tension building, mysterious thing of what's going on. With this one, the first half kind of drags and the scares aren't quite there. However, once Patrick Wilson starts to go over the top crazy, that's when I think it gets good. That's when they start to go into the further. That's when Wilson looks like he's having a blast, and that's when he starts going crazy and just beating the shit out of people. There's a part where I just laugh where he just takes a teapot and just throws it at his wife. I mean, it's supposed to be a psychotic scene, but just the way he just chucks it across the room, I don't know why it hits her and knocks her down. I don't know why I kind of laughed at that. The same thing when he gets his hand squashed in a door. He's like, "I haven't felt real pain in forever." Oh, oh. But the best part of this movie, I love when is probably Lynn Shay and Parker Posey's crazy mom. She's got Josh held up in a chokehold up against the wall, talking about naughty girls or naughty boys or whatever. And she takes a rocking chair and she just smacks it over the ghost's head or whatever, and I couldn't stop laughing. This is crazy, but it's pretty awesome. Then afterwards, he's reunited with his family, and that's pretty much the end of their storyline, so I'm happy for them. I'm happy it's wrapped up. As much as I like seeing them in the other movies, you don't have to force it. Just kind of let them go off. But, Specs and Tucker are also back. And the ending to this movie, which they haven't followed up yet, at least at the point of, I haven't seen Chapter 4, or The Lost Key, which I hear is another prequel. That's probably the creepiest part of the movie. When Elise is with that girl and she looks behind her, you never see what it is. You never actually do find out, but I feel like it's the unknown and the mystery behind it that really makes it creepy. Is it Darth Maul? Is he back? I think that would have been the perfect time to show him, but at the maybe just standing there smiling evilly, and then just fades to black because that lasting image of him is just so creepy. So yeah, Chapter 2, it's a good sequel. I don't think it's as good as the first movie, but at the same time, that first movie is a pretty good one. So overall, I'd say definitely check it out. I can see why I never really went back to rewatch it, because it's not a bad movie. It's still a good like horror sequel, especially to like the first. But like compared to the first Insidious, which was a big out of nowhere surprise, this one kind of retreads some of this the same ground, but the scares aren't quite as effective. And it's weird because like the same, I think what did it too is James Wan also like that same year had The Conjuring come out, and I like The Conjuring. I like The Conjuring 2 a lot more, but I think because he had to make both movies at like kind of like the same time, it I think it was more focused on making The Conjuring scary instead of this one. Maybe that's the case, but or maybe it was because Leigh Whannell wrote it, and Leigh Whannell can do some good, but he can also do some bad. But you know, maybe that's what contributed to it. Who knows? But I think this one is funnier than the first one, though. Definitely with some of the more over the top scenes, and Lynn Shay is great. Patrick Wilson is having a lot of fun. All the actors are pretty good, and then we got this new character who's like an old friend of Elise, who was there when Josh was a kid. Like I said, I like the time travel aspect stuff of the further, how it's kind of like an endless void that exists outside space and time. And I thought that stuff was pretty cool. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I'm going to go watch Insidious Chapter 3 now, but I'll let you know what I think about that pretty much in an instant at the time you're watching this, because I'm just going to, put all three of these videos together and then just post them all at once, and I'll go see The Lost Key, and then I'll be all caught up with Insidious. But yeah, it was still neat to see. I can't remember if I like 2 or 3 more, but I haven't seen 3 all the way through since the theaters as well, but I'll let you know what I think about that one after the movie. So I just want to thank you all for watching this. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Looking forward to watching Chapter 3, which is a prequel, and then The Lost Key. So until next time, bye-bye.